Nguyen grew up in the conservative movement, and now she reports on it. In her new book, The MAGA Diaries, My Surreal Adventures Inside the Right Wing and How I Got Out, she chronicles her front row seat to the evolution of conservatism and the rise of MAGA. Please welcome Tina Nguyen. So, thank you so much for being with me. As soon as I heard you were writing this book, I was dying to talk to you before I even got a chance to read it. Finished it over the weekend. Congratulations, this is your first book, but you're a longtime political journalist. You cover Trump and you cover MAGA World as a national correspondent for Puck. But you started out working for distinctly right-wing outlets, including the Daily Caller. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background and why you got your start kind of in the right-wing side of media?
Well, first, thank you for having me. I came out of college through a right-wing journalism program, which is a thing that actually exists. And they placed me in the Daily Caller because they knew a guy who was looking for a tech reporter there. And the interesting thing about being at some place like the Daily Caller circa like 2011, before MAGA existed, was that there was already this like growing, like mainstream media kind of sucks, like they're not covering the right things that people should be covering and paying attention to. Take that instinct and combine it with the need for like eyeballs and clicks because this was an online outlet. And looking back, I sort of think that was a really terrible combination for the news industry.
Well, very much so. And for those who don't know, obviously, Daily Caller was founded by Tucker Carlson, now kind of one of the figureheads of the MAGA movement. But at that time, it was kind of a different world in Republican politics. And you talk a lot in the book about your experience at Claremont McKenna College, which is, I also went to a right-of-center college. And for you, they kind of raised up a generation of conservative leaders. What's their model? How does that work?
So Claremont McKenna, and I guess similar to where you went to college, if you were kind of a right-leaning student at this college, and they exist everywhere, like everyone had a libertarian moment when they were 19.
Right.
But if you were in this college, there would be these research institutions with professors who are like, hey, you know what, you're pretty good at whatever it is you want to do, law, journalism, maybe going into politics, whatever. What if you applied for this thing that we know about? And you apply for the thing, and all of a sudden you get thrown into basically right-wing summer camp.
Yeah.
There are a whole bunch of kids your age who also have a desire to go into politics, to go into journalism, law school, whatever. And you hang out for a week on campus and you become really great friends, and during the day you do seminars on how to run a campaign and maybe why Obamacare is bad. And then you go off into the real world. And those friends that you made there are still your friends in the real world. What I think people don't understand about the world of the professional right is that it's not a conspiracy, it's just everyone knows each other so well that if you start going, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, everyone just goes, what? How dare you? I can't believe you said that. And that is really powerful. And it starts from being a college student in this environment.
I worked with, whether on Capitol Hill, the White House, people I'd known since college, since I was a young student activist. And there is, you identify this so well, this sort of pressure, you can't really break away from it, or you're kind of turning your back on your peers, your community, your friends who you've been with along the way. So I'm curious for you, because you obviously then eventually left Daily Caller, you were at Vanity Fair, now you're at Puck. What was sort of the moment for you that you decided you wanted to go into the, very scary mainstream media?
There were people from that program who went to the New York Times, MSNBC.
Looking at Tina, who wrote about the MAGA diary, according to her book, she talks about herself in the university, how she was put into this writing camp. In that particular camp, she had a group of friends which they mentor her to make her to be a consecutive writer. The mentor her, promised her she was going to send her to big companies, and he knew. So at the end, the mentor didn't send her to those companies. She had a lot of opportunities. She worked with the Daily Time, and then she worked there. She said, during those time, consecutive means they will actually give you things that, stories that were not even true, and you have to write about them between the Republican and the Democrat. So they'll actually tell you those things that were not very true. She said they work with people like Fox, and for what she knew that Carlson Tucker since when she was 22 years old. To her own explanation, she could not really deal with that. She realized that the mentor that introduced her to that particular organization was doing the same thing, and she could not take it. She had to withdraw. So according to her, there was a lot of consecutive, a lot of things that were just being written that were not being true. She wanted to write things that she knows that they were truth, they were real facts. It was not just things you're writing because you want to make money out of from yourself. She said that usually when people, before the internet became so viral, usually when the people that does not agree with those writing companies, when they take you out from there, you don't even, you just lost and nobody hear about you. But now when the internet came into place, when they take people out, they will come now to the internet and state why they were fired and bring their own crowd and to follow them. So when YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, all this thing came into position, it helped people, even somewhere like Carlson Tucker, who now have his own voice, who now is bringing a lot of materials, a lot of revelation. So she was being asked that, is that how Carlson have always been? She said no. She had an interview with Carlson at the end, and she asked Carlson, why did Carlson deviate and stand now is saying something that she never used to say the way he was with the folk. And Carlson trying to say, when you are with a particular organization, you follow the train, you follow what you're being paid to say. But now he's by himself. All what he said is usually information that people bring to him also. And those information, he doesn't only bring the information, he brings receipts to prove that they are true. He doesn't just come to say out of his head. So usually, according to the MAGA diary, she's claimed that most of the material that come out from the MAGA, those are theory, conspiracy theory that have been written by President Donald Trump, that and his crew, that those are not really true. Those are just information that people are passing out to the world just to favor the Republican, just to favor them. So she doesn't even stand for that. She's very conservative and she stands by the truth. What actually do you think? Do you think that this MAGA diary, what Tina is writing about, or what she's saying is true? Or do you think she's just looking for a clout? Now that election is coming in November, usually people want that cloud chasing, because they want their own opinion to be followed. They want people to seek them out. They want people who are for Donald Trump to follow them, or people for Biden to follow them. Let me see your opinion on the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you.